The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles are back on the silver screen in a new animated movie. And yeah, in case you haven't noticed, I have loved every animated movie I've seen this year so far. So let's see if these dudes can keep that streak going. They totally can. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem. So Mutant Mayhem is, like I said, the newest Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie. We've had some live action ones, we had one animated one before. This one's a lot better than that one. And so yeah, this is the story of the Ninja Turtles you know. 4 turtles and a rat are mutated by some radioactive ooze. Now they know ninjutsu, they're teenagers. They do good deeds around New York City, but they can't be seen by society because of what they are. We got a criminal mastermind out there who goes by the name Superfly. Turns out he's a mutant just like the turtles, and he's got himself a whole crew of other mutants. They want to wage war on humanity, so our turtles, Leonardo, Donatello, Raphael, and Michelangelo, gotta stop them. Turtle power! And for the most part, I thought this movie was pretty freaking awesome. I'll say this movie is exactly what it needs to be. It's trying to appeal to kids first and foremost. The dialogue gives that away. And kids are definitely gonna love this movie. But for me personally, it's not like Haunted Mansion. I really enjoyed this movie. So let's talk about the turtles. Leonardo, he's the leader of the group. He's honest and brave. He always fights with honor, which means he can be a bit of a Boy Scout at times. I like how that dynamic played with the other turtles. Raphael's the one with the rage problem, which this movie really only shows the larval phase of. Because in Ninja Turtles lore, Raphael is the one with the chip on his shoulder, and sometimes that can cause problems for the group. That never really happens in this movie. I am hoping they're saving that for future installments, but I did still love his attitude. Donatello is the nerd. Although his geeky tech head side, I didn't really ever see it come through in this film. Again, I liked his dynamic with his brothers, and I still liked him as a character, but yeah, he's not really a tech head, at least not yet. And of course, Michelangelo is the party guy. He is the funniest of the 4 of them in this film, as he should be. He had some moments that had me laughing out loud even. And I love the 4 of them as a group. Cause yeah, they are teenagers, really for the first time ever properly portrayed, and it works really well for this movie. I'll touch more on that when I touch on the humor. Their father figure, Splinter, who's voiced by Jackie Chan, he has a big part in this movie, and he is pretty much what I know Splinter to be. He really does care for these turtles he sees as his sons. He doesn't want them to go out into the human world because of his own fear of humanity. Kinda cliche, but I get it. I also really liked April O'Neil. She's a high school journalist who discovers the turtles and actually gets along with them, and she helps them out on this Superfly case. Her relationship with the turtles was really interesting. But speaking of Superfly though, alright, let's talk about him. He's a completely original character, he's voiced by Ice Cube, and man, talk about charismatic. I actually loved how cool this guy is for a villain. And then yeah, when he does get intense, I mean, it's Ice Cube. He can be a pretty intense dude. Just I thought for a Ninja Turtles movie where we don't have Shredder yet, Superfly did the job pretty well. Of course, one of the biggest selling points of this movie is the animation, which is awesome. I touched on this when I made a video about the trailer, and yeah, it is clearly inspired by the Spider-Verse films, but it does do its own thing. It's really inspired by the doodling that teenagers do while they're in class in high school. I can vouch for that. I doodled all the time when I was in high school. So the pencil scribbles you see all over this movie, I thought that was a really nice touch. It's like this world is really being seen from the eyes of our main characters, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. This is how they see New York City. Alright, that's really cool. And the action scenes are awesome too. When the turtles are throwing down, it's classic TMNT action. They got their weapons, they got their ninjutsu, they're beating the hell out of bad guys. It's just thoroughly entertaining right there. The music's kicking on, and you're having a good time with it. And now we get to the humor, which might just end up being really divisive for fans, because these turtles, yeah, they're Zoomers. They're Gen Z because they really are like they're voiced by 15-year-olds. So yeah, they do use Gen Z slang like Riz and sus. And I'll be honest, when I first heard that in the TV spot, I almost kind of cringed. I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna like that. But I do understand, you know, the movie is supposed to be taking place in present day. Teenagers these days use that kind of slang, I think. I imagine teenagers who go to see this movie are gonna relate a lot to that. So I do understand, and I let it slide. And at times I even thought it was funny. Like I said, this movie does exactly what it's trying to do. And it does it really well. A lot of pop culture references too, which is another thing I wasn't quite used to when it comes to Ninja Turtles. There's product placement, there's movie references, and for the most part they were funny, but at the same time I couldn't help going, okay, well, product placement. Also, the story. I've noticed this a lot in the past few years, and it's starting to become really cliche when a movie opens with the villain's backstory. Yeah, I think I'm done with that trope. In fact, any superhero movie opening with the villain at all. Yeah, I'd rather they just start off with our heroes. That would hook me. Along with the end of this movie, the way this movie ends is something I'm really gonna have to think about. I don't really know if I like it or not. Probably not the biggest fan. That being said though, a sequel is confirmed to be in the works. So okay, that's fair enough. As for the music in this movie, the score is awesomely electronically awesome. It was composed by Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross, award-winning composers, and they did a great job here. Yeah, a lot of synthesizers, a lot of electronic drums, drums and 808s. I actually thought that fit these Ninja Turtles very well. And then the needle drops fit too. I'm starting to realize that needle drops are not a problem for me as long as they fit and make sense in the movie. And in this movie, they fit and make sense. So props to that. In the end, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem, I was hoping to love it, but I really like it. I love the animation, I love the turtles, I love the characters and the dialogue, and the action is awesome, but there are a couple of cliches in there that have me rolling my eyes a couple of times. And that ending, yeah, it doesn't really feel like Ninja Turtles, or at least the Ninja Turtles that I'm familiar with. I mean, for this particular story of the Ninja Turtles, yeah, it works very well, it's great. Just if you're a die-hard Ninja Turtles fan, you might not like it. I'm not a die-hard fan, I really like them, but I didn't grow up with them or anything, so I can be fine with this ending. And this movie's got some awesome music. Definitely worth watching and rewatching for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem. I will say, go see this movie while it's in theaters. And there is a mid-credit scene, definitely check that out. No post-credit scene though. I personally can't wait to see more from this TMNT story. Bring it on! So, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem. Have you seen it yet? What are your thoughts on it? And what is your favorite TMNT story of all time? Whatever you think, go ahead and leave a comment. And of course, thank you for subscribing. Cowabunga!